we're helping our clients get all the people they need to really help them build the home.
And actually the best people too. For
and the best people.
Because they can call, like I'm at Wintrust, we do lending across the nation. There's other companies that do lending, but maybe they don't do it so well, or maybe their advice isn't as specific as it should be. So you're right. There's people out there in all different disciplines, but are the right ones for the project.
And Next House, we love working with you because you're not only the best expert in what you do, everything mortgage, but you love architecture, you love design, and you love collaborations. And I think a lot of people think they're collaborative in the home space, but they're really not. And I think you speak our language in terms of home design and architecture, but you bring to the table the very daunting, intimidating aspect of like, how do you even start with getting a mortgage? How do you start with financing a home and loans and all these things that I think many of my clients, they're so excited about the architectural side and the design side, but they're really scared about the whole financial side, and it's very daunting and intimidating.
Well, first of all, a step back. My father was an architect. So growing up, I was around architecture projects, going to construction projects for a while. High school, college, I worked for him in project management. So I have an appreciation of how important it is to put all the pieces together well so that the project will go smoothly, so that when we're talking to people up front, it's interesting, you ask people a lot of times, so what do you think like your budget is to spend? And doing this for quite a long time, and we've seen costs obviously go up post-pandemic, and what's realistic, what that project's actually going to cost. So they might say, I'm assuming I'm going to spend $2.5 million, let's say. And I'm like, well, let's plan on more like 3 to 3.5. Because the thing about lending is if you're borrowing the money and you don't need to borrow it all, you're not paying any interest. So trying to build in collars around it and unexpected cost increases and extras and change orders, hopefully with a good team like Nexus, there's not Next House, there's not that variance as much because of the collaboration, but still to plan for things where maybe you have your core list of things, but then you kind of have your wish list items. So we're also building in, is it realistic to maybe all those wish list items or part of those wish list items? And I really love to see how excited people are about building their dream, whether it's a primary house, second house, whatever it might be, and we can do this across the nation. So you might have worked with them before for their primary house, now all of a sudden they're building the second house in Massachusetts or Michigan or Arizona or whatever, so we can help them anywhere. But the enthusiasm is really what gets me. Their excitement about trying to get their dream to be built and knowing that the people on this team know what they're doing, collaborate well, communicate well. That's the really key, because you could have a really good architect over here and a really good designer over here, really good builder over here, and you have a lender that none of them know. That doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad lender, but they're not really communicating together to say, this is actually what it's going to cost. Can they do these things? Can they afford these things? Do they have to have these things in order for the project to come together? So you have to have a basic knowledge of construction. What's the process? I can explain the process for accessing the money during the project. And we always have a conference call at the end of, when we close on the financing to start the project between our group that funds the draws, the builder, the client, so they all kind of know what the process is. So the communication and basic knowledge of construction projects and building and costs, it really helps, I think, calm the client to know, okay, I have people that know what they're doing. They're not trying to sell me something. They're trying to address what I really want, bring out what I really want, and how can we finance this? And it could even be, I want to pay cash for this. I'm like, well, I still think you need a construction escrow. This is why. They're protecting your title. They're making sure all the subcontractors are paid. So it's not just, hey, let's get you a loan. It's like, do you want a loan? Is a loan even right for you? And if it's not, there's still things we can advise on to make sure that at the end of the day, when their place is built, everyone's been paid, everyone's happy, the client's happy, and they know when they move in that house, they won't have issues post moving into the house.